How's it going, everyone? This is InsurgenceRX with a battle, and my opponent's team, Gamemasters, that's his name, is on the top, and I see an Aerodactyl that scares me, and a Sandstorm team which I am weak against. My team is always weak against Sandstorm teams, so let's see how this turns out. This battle is actually quite long. There were many turns, so I'd speed it up quite fast. There's like over 30 turns. I forgot exactly how many, but yeah. So he did go for his Aerodactyl first, and I went for Fake Out there, because in case he was carrying a Focus Sash, I wanted to take away the ability to survive one attack. So he switches out into his Ferrothorn, and I go into my Charizard. He goes for the Curse attack. I'm not sure why. I think Leech Seed would have been a better move to go for, but that's his choice. Or even Thunder Wave. I'm seeing quite a few Thunder Waves on Ferrothorns, and he does have a Blissey, and that scares me a lot, because Blissey, that means I need to save at least one of my fighting moving Pokemon, my physical attack fighting Pokemon, to take out the Blissey. So I do have my Rhydon with my, I do have a fighting move on my Rhydon. I forgot what it's called. My mind always goes blank when I do narrations, but anyways, I did get the Stealth Rock up because of his Aerodactyl and other Pokemon, because it seems like he's switching out quite a lot. So now he has his Blissey out, and I have my Choice Banded Sock, so I'm thinking I'm not going to take any chances, I'm not going to overpredict, so I'll go straight for the close combat. And right here, he has a very good moveset thing and Pokemon on his team, because if I try to use fighting attacks against his Blissey, he can just switch out into his Gengar to take any fighting move. And since I have a Choice Band on my sock, I am forced to switch out against the Gengar because I'm locked into close combat. So I do paralyze this Gengar, and I'm like awesome, because Gengar was a pretty big threat to my team, because it outspeeds probably all my team except for Weavile. And we both switch here. I go into Tyranitar, and he goes into, I go into Rhydon, and he goes into Tyranitar. So I'm like, darn, now the Sandstorm is up. And now he goes to his Ferrothorn, and I think I go for a fighting move right here. Yep, my Hammer Arm attack. So it takes away, I'd say about half, maybe less, maybe a bit less than half. But he does have leftovers, which sucks. So I go for Hammer Arm again, brings them down to maybe just like 5 HP, and I'm thinking, okay, things are looking pretty good. But since my speed was lowered twice so far from Hammer Arm, and I have the possibility of missing because its accuracy is only 90%, I switch out, not wanting to take any chances, and knowing that any of his moves will not do anything against my Charizard. So I did not want to risk a miss or another attack by whatever he was going to do against my Rhydon. I need to save my Rhydon for later. So now he has his Blissey out, and I Flamethrower on the switch. I should have switched out a double switch, but I don't want to overpredict there. So I'm thinking he's going to go for Soft Boiled, no doubt about it, so I switch out into my Weavile here. I do have the Break attack. I'm lucky because I have a fighting move on my Weavile, a fighting move on my Rhydon, and a fighting move on my Sock. So I have 3 Pokemon that can possibly take out the Blissey. Sock is the best chance because it's Choice Banded and it is stabbed. So he switches out, and I'm thinking, yeah, he's probably going to switch out into something, but I know that Break will do decent amount against any of his Pokemon here. Super effective against Ferrothorn, and that ends up taking him out, which is perfect. So now he has his Tyranitar, and I'm not sure if this was a misplay or he didn't know that Break would have been 4 times effective against his Tyranitar, but that took out the Tyranitar, which is good for me. 4 times effective. Now he has his Exadrill, and this is one of my biggest threats to my team. I have been swept so many times by this Pokemon, Exadrill, so many times in Sandstorms, because their speed will outspeed all of my Pokemon, and its attacks are immense. So I started my Mew here, hoping to survive an attack, and I do survive, which allows me to get off a Will-O-Wisp, which is perfect here because I'm not able to cripple his speed with Thunder Wave, but I am able to cripple his attack by cutting it in half with a Will-O-Wisp. So that is perfect right there, and I'm able to roost up after surviving the second Earthquake attack, and now I am perfect spot right here. So now he sends out his Aerodactyl, and I roost up, not sure what he's gonna do, and I'm thinking, okay, Mew is doing very well with this battle. I'm able to cripple his team. So far I've used Thunder Wave on his Gengar and Will-O-Wisp on his Exadrill. So I'm crippling his whole team here. He goes for Stealth Rocks, and I go for Thunder Wave, so I'm thinking, okay, it's game over for him right here. I have 2 of his fastest Pokemon are now, their speeds are cut in half, and his Pokemon with his strongest attack, his attack is cut in half, so I'm thinking I'm pretty much game over for him right here, but that turns out to not be the case. I go for Seismic Toss, not sure what he's gonna do. He ends up going into Blissey, which is a good move on his part, and it only takes away 100 HP, so it ain't gonna do much. I go into my Rhydon, and this right here was like, oh gosh, he goes for Heal Bell, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, all that work I had. Now his Gengar's not paralyzed, Aerodactyl's not paralyzed, and his Exadrill is not burned anymore. So this is turning out to be a pretty epic battle. I thought that I had the game right there, but it turns out that I did not. Go for Hammer Arm right there, and takes away a decent amount against his Aerodactyl. He goes for Giga Impact. I'm like, what the heck? Why did he use Giga Impact against my Rhydon? It's not very effective. He should have gone for Earthquake if he had that, but oh well. So now he sends out his Exadrill, which is now not burned, and he is positioned to almost sweep my team, but my Shell Shock comes to the rescue. This is not defensive Shell Shocker, my Blastoise, and so that's why I barely survived the Earthquake. If I did not survive that Earthquake, I am not sure if I would have been able to kill off this Exadrill. So now I'm down to 11 HP from the Sandstorm, and Gengar is now faster than me because he's not paralyzed, and down goes Shell Shock. So I'm thinking right here, I think he only has his Gengar and his Blissey left. So I go into my Mew, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm just gonna Thunder Wave him again. He actually goes for Hypnosis this time and ends up putting me to sleep, so that's darn. And so let's see what happens here. I think he switches out next into his Blissey. Yep, he goes into Blissey. These are his last 2 Pokemon, and I wake up first turn, which is perfect. I end up Thunder Waving him, which is also good, which means that either he has to keep on being paralyzed, or he has to waste a turn with Heal Bell. So this right here was a big play. My next play right here, I go into Sock, okay? I'm thinking he's going to go for Seismic Toss or something. Instead he goes for Soft Boiled, which is okay with me. So I'm predicting that he is going to predict me to go for Close Combat. So I have to over-predict. I have to predict into 2 turns past in what we're doing right now. I have to over-predict and hope that he thinks that I'm going for Close Combat, and so he sends out his Gengar. So I went for Rock Slide right here. And this was a big play in the game because Rock Slide took out the Gengar. If I went for Close Combat, I would have to switch back out into Mew, and then that could have crippled my team. So now I'm glocked into Rock Slide and switch into Charizard just to die, so that now I can switch back into Sock, go for the Close Combat for the kill. So this was a super long battle. It had so many turns, lots of switching out, and we both had Stealth Rocks up, but this was such a good battle. Gamemasters had a very good strategy on his team, so I will leave a link to his channel down below and my channel, and hope that you can subscribe to both channels if possible, if you want to, and I hope that every single one of you guys have a great day.